Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a genuinely terrifying reality in the tech world right now, the silent failure of AI. We'll look at why full-stack observability is quite literally the only way to fix it. You see, when AI features fail in production today, they don't crash like traditional software. Instead, they just quietly hand the absolute wrong answer to a real user, all while every single one of your system dashboards stays perfectly green.
Let's dive right into what this actually looks like. Imagine your brand new customer support bot answers a user's question in exactly 1.2 seconds. It fires off a perfect HTTP 200 success code. From an infrastructure perspective, flawless. But the reality? That bot just completely fabricated a totally incorrect or even worse, toxic refund policy and sent it to a very real, very angry customer.
So part 1, the silent AI failure, and why those green dashboards completely missed the mark. You know, traditional application monitoring was built for deterministic systems. An input maps cleanly to an output. Simple. But generative AI, it's a non-deterministic black box. Since these models generate outputs probabilistically, you could send two identical prompts and get completely different answers back. It all depends on something as small as a temperature setting or a hidden state transition. It's wild.
So, here's the crucial takeaway. Tracking standard metrics like latency and error codes is just the tip of the iceberg now. Doing that completely misses the massive unseen depths of things like semantic drift, embedding shifts, and hallucinations. Think about it. A lightning-fast error-free system is completely useless if it's confidently hallucinating answers.
Which brings us to part 2, monitoring versus observability, and shifting to a proactive defense.
Okay, so while monitoring reactively alerts you to predefined system failures, the known unknowns you expect could go wrong, observability is totally different. It proactively correlates traces and evaluations to diagnose the root cause of entirely unexpected behavior. It's all about looking at the actual meaning and context of the output rather than just checking the pipes that delivered it.
And the urgency to adapt to this new mindset is incredibly real. To put it in perspective, Gartner actually predicts that by 2028, 60% of software engineering teams are going to rely on AI evaluation and observability platforms just to build user trust. Bottom line, if you aren't adapting, you're already falling behind.
Let's look at part 3, the 4 visibility levels, a framework for troubleshooting.
So, how do you actually triage a problem in this new world? Well, it's a bit like a giant puzzle. You start macro at the organization level, tracking your entire AI footprint. Then you narrow it down to a specific application to look for baseline drift. From there, you zoom in closer to check multi-turn session token usage. And finally, right at the bottom, you inspect a single individual prompt interaction. When you get down to those micro levels, the session and interaction levels, sure, you're watching token usage to catch runaway budget consumption. But more importantly, you're tracking specific evaluator scores for faithfulness, alongside real-time guardrail interventions. These are the actual metrics that define the safety and the quality of what your AI is spitting out.
Moving right along to part 4, building your observability stack and unifying that signal pipeline.
To pull this off, best practices absolutely demand a unified signal pipeline. Basically, this means combining OpenTelemetry standard tracing across your entire reasoning loop right alongside online evaluation of your live traffic. You evaluate every single response in real time and then continuously curate that production data straight back into your offline testing datasets.
If you take one thing away from this explainer, I want you to remember this phrase. Logging tells you what ran, evaluation tells you whether it was good enough. Simply capturing a trace without actually scoring those outputs for faithfulness, relevance, and safety, that's just really expensive logging. It doesn't actually solve the problem.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Without full-stack AI observability in place, can you truly guarantee what your models are doing in production right this second? Because if you're only tracking uptime, there's a very real chance your AI is already failing completely silently. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.